Guardian of traditional Kyrgyz headdress. Art of shoemaking. Ancient walnut forests of Arslanbab Valley. Sonny, here we are. Let's go. Good luck. Wish you a nice game. Go. Hello, my name is Aida Asangulova. This is my daughter Aklai. Just now my son Akai went to a football training. Now we'll go and look at him. Do you see your brother? You see he's standing over there? Yes, I see him. Akai, take your gloves. Take them. Please take them. Oh, your brother did not take his gloves. I respect the opinion of my son. Always wish him luck. He said that he will not freeze, so it will be. Aida Asangulova is an artist designer of clothes. However, she never thought of creating modern models. She always wanted to recreate what was rapidly disappearing from the world. Costumes with national color, ancient dresses of Kyrgyz beauties, which have remained in her memory since childhood. What bright and interesting colors. Dear, I like this color very much. I like it very much too. Oh, what will we do with them? Herbarium. Look, Akalai, this is the longest one. Yes. My daughter is a good girl. She teaches me many things, huh? Will you show me your game? 1, 2 more. Next. Next. I understand. Well, I'll try. 1, 2. Correct? We played in a completely different way at school. We drew squares with chalk and threw stones there. Then we jumped like that. When you have children, there is a purpose in the future. It's very interesting with them. The happiest, best days happen with children. I'm the happiest mom. And I'm proud that I'm a happy Kyrgyz woman. I think I'm a very happy person because I develop my skills at my work. We are now making modern carpets from felt and offer them to people. I always wanted to be useful to my country and my small homeland where I was born. Therefore, my team and I opened a special fund called The World of Felt. We would very much like to preserve our ancient values and traditions. Therefore, our fund is engaged in such projects as Elechek, Kyrgyz Kalpagi, and Kyiz Duino. I take everything from nature, from what God created. I take it and depict on felt, based on how I see it. I use natural colors in my work, because there are the most natural and bright colors in nature. Look, Mommy, it's you and me. Yes, exactly, let's take a picture of them. Yes, only find the brother too. Well, find the brother too. This big one should be your brother, and I'll be in the middle. No, it's you. It's the brother and me. Yes, exactly, Akalai. Look how beautiful it is. We came to the market of antiques, the so-called flea market. It works on Saturdays and Sundays. Here you can find grandmothers' old fabrics from the times of the Soviet Union. Interesting beads. In general, here you can find many interesting things, even rare things. For example, look at this. 100 som for 3 pelts. Mink. So you buying it or not? We'll buy it. Really? Yes. Then look. Do you have a Soviet Marley? No, let's take this piece. This is 200 soms, all right? Yes. You have very good drugs. Yeah, it is our bread. Look, the grandmother makes it by hand. We arrived at work. This is the fence of our office. We thought a lot about how to arrange it. Then they decided that this is the right way than just writing. We have similar felt carpet in the office. As you know, Kyrgyz people carried out the carpets in the sun and hung out on the fence to dry.
Илгерки буюмдарын, үйдөгү буюмдарын алып чыгып дарбазага жайып, кашаларга жайып, күн көрсөтүп, ошондой кылат эмеспи? Анан бул биздин кеңсебиз.
This is the office for our fund. This is Tolsin Apa. She is embroidering old patterns. She taught us a special technique of weaving. I think I should use this embroidery on the collar of some clothing. It's great, Apa, and the drawing is very beautiful. There are 2 rows. The Kyrgyz people have a so-called kerme saima. This is such a technique of embroidering on the fabric with the help of a hook. In the old days, each house had wall carpets with such patterns. Unfortunately, this was forgotten later. However, we were lucky enough to meet Tolsin Apa. Now we are learning from her this kind of art and we want to revive it. We made this stand as an example. Here we show different techniques for weaving patterns. Apa, you have already trained about 50 students, right? In earlier times, patterns were applied in a special way. This technique was used by our ancestors. Now we're teaching this to the younger generation. I'm glad that Aydai is doing this good deed. She tried to revive everything she has forgotten with our help. This is meritoriously. When you're sewing patterns, you forget everyday worries. You dream about something of your own. You enjoy the piece. Those who come to us to adopt this art, too, take a true pleasure from this lesson. I'll put on my belt. It is very beautiful and very warm. It is good for the cold season. This is my colleague, Dulat. We went together through the villages and from such grandmothers as Tolsin Apa found out what types of women's headwear existed in the old day. To date, we managed to collect 13 species of elechek. The foundation KYRGYZSTAN, World of Felt, has been operating for almost 15 years. The first project of the studio was called Kalpak. Volunteers of the fund conducted festivals of applied art in remote villages and literally, bit by bit, gathered information about the old costumes of different regions of Kyrgyzstan. The first project was followed by others, also dedicated to the preservation of national clothes and ancient handicrafts. It is interesting that the fund holds summer masterclasses on the highland Jailal. Now I'll show you the album. This is our last year's album, Jalu 2016. We have been traveling to Issyk Mountains 2 years in a row. This year we were at the Jailal in the Chu Valley. Kyrgyz women fix the braid with cotton, like this. Cotton must have been white. Therefore, they believed that the hair would grow well. This decoration is called Chach Uchtuk. It is made of silver coins and corals. Women began to wear it as soon as they got married. First, they braided hair into 2 ponytails and fastened with this decoration. In addition to being used as an ornament, it was worn to maintain a proud port under its weight, and when walking it, produced a melodious ringing. Done! Now the Chach Uchtuk is being tied up. This is a national hair ornament. Sometimes such an ornament was braided together with hair, and sometimes buttoned just like this. This female national belt is the most expensive thing in our collection. We bought it in 2015 in America. It was delivered there 25 years ago. It was bought by an American woman in Kyrgyzstan. She wore it for a long time. Then she sold it to her friend. When we saw it, we decided to return it to his homeland in Kyrgyzstan. Such things were made in the Batken region. Careful, what happened? How does it look from the outside? This is a cell. She demonstrates clothes of the southern Kyrgyz women. The thing on the head is called kep takaya. Red beads on the neck are called marjan. That is, they are corals. Here we have a brooch in the form of shield. Sulu Jumabayeva showed it to us. This is a handkerchief called Duruya Jolok. As you have noticed, this is the tail of the kep takaya. It is completely decorated with patterns. One more distinctive feature of clothes of southerners is chach uchtuk. That is an ornament of hair. Women in southern Kyrgyzstan looked like this. Madan Imanbeko from Talas showed us this elechek. It took about 40 meters of fabric to make it. It is unique. The Kazakhs call it kimishek. It is divided into different types too. Kazakh clothes are very similar with our Kyrgyz ones. Such headwear are also found in other cultures. For example, Bashkirs, Karakalpaks, even Ukrainians have similar headdresses. Elechek is one of the most ancient garments. Ethnographers emphasize the similarity of ancient headdresses that existed in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan and, moreover, throughout the Central Asia and the Great Eurasian Steppe. The Kazakh people call it kimishek, and it slightly differs from the Kyrgyz elechek. This is due to weather conditions. Elechek is wrapped around the head, and it is very voluminous. Kyrgyz women started to wear elechek after marriage. The very name of elechek means that a woman is married. According to the studies, such a headdress was worn by all the inhabitants of Central Asia in the Middle Ages. Elechek was adapted to the nomadic life of the Kyrgyz. On the one hand, it protected from the cold. On the other hand, it protected women's long hair from dust and dirt. In addition, it happened that women were given birth, or someone died on the way during the nomadic period. Then people took a piece of cloth from elechek and used it as a shroud for the deceased. Or it was used to swaddle a newborn. Now we will rise to the second floor of our office and see our girls at work. Come along. Here we make handmade clothes. Guljamal is sewing beldamchi. Patterns on it are made by Tolsenapa. Finally, it will be similar to the belt that I now wear. Immediately, we are ironing clothes and select the thread. These photos do not hang here for nothing. Old photos help us a lot in our project. With their help, we learn how our ancestors dressed. In archival photographs, we can see the non-preserved elements of clothing. For example, this is first Kyrgyz actress Aisha Karasaeva. Here, all the folds of her headdress are visible. Scientists of both countries note the commonality of traditional patterns used in the applied art of the peoples of Central Asia. This indicates that despite the historical upheavals of the last centuries, the peoples of Eurasia remain faithful to the legacy of the ancient culture. The Epic of Manas mentions that our ancestor, Koshoy, was wearing leather trousers when fighting with Joly. Horns of animals were depicted there. Since ancient times, our ancestors believed that in this way a person gains strength. They believed that these signs possess sacred properties and protect their possessor. Therefore, these patterns were used for men's garments. As for women's clothes, images of flowers, different seeds, and fruits of plants were used. The pattern Kochkar Muyuz is found not only among Kyrgyz but also among Kazakhs and other Turkic peoples. We can assume that this pattern appeared in 3 to 4 centuries of our era. According to scientists, the Koshkar-Muyuz ornament is a typical not only for Central Asia, but also for the peoples of the Caucasus, for the peoples of the Crimea, the Ural-Volga region. If you pay attention to Kazakh carpets, Azerbaijani carpets, Nogay carpets, Kyrgyz carpets, you will surely find this ornament plot. And these curls, which we now call Koshkar-Muyuz, are in fact the flaws of the solar deity, its warmness and light. Felting women make wonders. This beauty fills the entire dwelling.
В самом распространенном казахском символе можно усмотреть.
The most widespread Kazakh symbol may be interpreted differently.
Это может быть и образ женщины.
This may be the image of a woman. It may be a symbol of the world mountain or a world tree.
Древо. То есть это все как бы мировоззрение.
That is, this entire nomadic outlook is reflected in this symbol. Moreover, all these assumptions are confirmed by archaeological findings. Earrings made in the shape of anthropomorphic characters were found in western Kazakhstan and now serve as a proof. Suppose the same iconography of earrings is displayed in the Kazakh ornament. Hello. Let's go. I'll show you our mini workshop. Welcome to our warehouse. Here are the boot trees. We produce shoes in national style. That's how we make measurements. So let's start with a sketch of shoes. These will be house shoes. Everything is done only by hands. We put our soul into each product. The sample is ready. As you can see, everything is in the national style. That's how we draw, then cut, and start to sew. After finishing school, Samgao Nasiphan did not go to the university and look for work. He decided to follow in the footsteps of his ancestors and to engage in making shoes. Samgao made his first pair of boots when he was 19. After moving to Astana, he opened his own business and now sews custom-made shoes according to national traditions. Now we will start to sew. You need to pull the leather properly for making flat seam. First of all, we carefully studied the national ornaments. Not every one of them can be used for shoes. As a result, we decided to elaborate on the ancient pattern. I cut ornaments with a knife. This is a difficult skill to master. For the ornament, we mainly use white and black shades. That's how such patterns are obtained in combination with white color. They will be cut out like this ornament. And that's how it will look like. Well, now our house shoes in national style are ready. Everything's made of natural leather. The sole is thick and waterproof. This production comes out under my name, somehow. I believe that the shoes will become a national brand. Many people ask why I put my name on the inner sole. We live in a peaceful country, but how many people live without a homeland, their own state? As they say, instead of being a sultan in a foreign land, it's better to be on a sole in your home country. So let me become a soul for my people. It's a great honor for me. And now, let's try on these shoes. Kazakhs have this kind of shoes called kebis. They are like overshoes. Let's try on shoes in a modern style. These house shoes are for the house, but the kebis are worn to go out into the yard to work near the house. Besides Samgao, the elder brother and sister Jazira also are interested in the ancient craft. All of them moved to a young capital from eastern Kazakhstan a few years ago. Samgao is my younger brother. He continues the craft of our ancestors. He was a sharp child and kept up with everything. He always kept his word. He drew very well from childhood. So he opened his own business. You can see for yourself our national products. People like it and praise my brother. It's pleasant to hear it. We are very proud of him. We gave such shoes to the head of state on the day of the first president. The toe of the shoe was made of crocodile leather. These were our first such original boots. The president accepted the gift, thanked from the bottom of the heart, and presented me a letter of appreciation. To receive such letter is a great honor for us, and we are very proud of it. After that, we began to set ourselves even more ambitious goals. We want to produce competitive goods countrywide. Samgao is going to launch mass production of affordable footwear of the national brand. The equipment already has been received. Right now it is necessary to move the spacious workshop and to hire workers. I turned my favorite hobby into a business. For me, it's not work. I rest and enjoy the pleasures of the sewing of shoes. I want to turn this business into a large business, create a recognizable brand, which will be known all over the country and even beyond. Walnut forests in valley of the Arslanbab are famous throughout the world and even included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. A local legend has it that Alexander of Macedon took the walnuts home while returning from a military campaign across the valley. Possibly this is how the famous walnuts appeared, but of course it's just a beautiful legend. In fact, scientists still cannot figure out when and how these unique forests originated. Scientists of the Russian Empire and later the Soviet Union sent here various expeditions and even organized a special institute for its study. The Arslanbab Grove was the first to enter the All-Union Subtropical Institute. A base was established on the AKTEREK section where the walnut fruit forests were studied. The American scientist Molly came here more than once for the researchers and proved that the forests in that area arose 1 million years ago. And now we will go to the Arslanbab Grove and see if the trees are ready for winter cold. We invite everyone to join us. The age of this walnut tree that stands behind me is about 350 to 400 years. In the wild nature, it lives for a very long time. As you can see, age signs are already visible on it. Such rare trees are often found in the nature of our region. In general, a nut in the whole world is considered a long liver. These nut trees in nature had appeared naturally. No one planted them here. People were not involved in the process. But I want to introduce my colleague to you. Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing? All is well. How are you? This is Abdikalikov Torekeldi. He works in this nut grove. I have lived in this forest for 60 years. Nut grove is very rich for valuable goods. Local people harvest and sell it. We all played here when we were children. We climbed the trees, we lost our shoes, searched, cried. A lot of things happened in these forests. I really love this forest. I was born here, grew up here. This is my home and my work. One can say that we're guarding it like a mother would guard her child. We're planting new trees to extend its life for many more years. Today we walked through the forest. We examined the condition of the trees and their readiness for winter. How do you think they get ready for the winter cold? If the winter is not severe, I think the harvest will be good next year, right? Today we stayed in the forest until late. Thank you for inviting me to your home. Tomorrow we will go to AKTEREK. We must get there. Today, early in the morning, we will start our trip. The sun is just rising and we are already on the road. Arslanbab walnut forests are located on the southwestern slopes of the Fergana range. Up to 1,500 tons of nuts and 5,000 tons of apples are harvested here each year. These mountains behind me are the mountain ranges of Babashata. The highest point of these mountains reaches up to 4,427 meters. The village AKTEREK is located on the elevation of 1,750 meters above the sea level. Winters here last longer than usual, up to 6 months. Snow falls to 1 meter in height. Many of my classmates still live in this village. Some of them went to the other side. There are also those who, like me, left their native land. My friend lives in this house. I decided to enter and say hello to him. Assalamu alaikum. Ooh, how are you? Are you all right? I'm fine, how are you? Thank God everything's fine. How are the children growing up? Thank you, good. My classmate lived here. He recently died. We must go to his relatives, read a prayer. When you get tired of city fuzz, you want to come here. When I'm here, I just roam around the woods, chase the wild walnut fruits, and admire the beautiful view of the natural miracle. At such times, I get rid of stress, fatigue, feel energy, and it seems that I get 10 to 15 years younger. These places are sacred for me, and I'm proud to have been born in these mountains. In the high mountain village AKTEREK, his father Nurullah worked all his life. He also looked after the walnut forests. The family moved here from Kazakhstan, fleeing the Great Famine in the 30s. The stories about the nationwide disaster of those years is still under a great interest for the scientists. Nut fruit is very rich for valuable vitamins that are needed for the human body. It contains both protein and useful fats and lots of different vitamins. These walnut forests of southern Kyrgyzstan during the famine of the 20s and 30s saved hundreds of thousands of human lives. At that time, people did not even have bread, and they went and collected fruits of nuts in this forest and were saved from hunger. I think that such nut plantations should be spread throughout Central Asia because the population in the region has grown every year. Today it reached 70 million people. In this regard, walnut fruit could solve the issue of food safety, and the glory of the Kyrgyz nut would spread even wider.